and welcome to my channel. Welcome to another tarot reading from me. So today's topic is inspired by a request from a viewer. He asked that I do a video on where will you be in 5 years, and I thought I would make it a little bit more proactive and fun. And instead of asking where are you going to be 5 years from now, I'm going to ask where are you meant to be 5 years from now, and I'm going to ask Spirit for tips on how you should get there. So I'm basically going to look at the base case scenario for where you could be 5 years from now. When I say best case scenario, I don't necessarily mean that this is going to be materially better. I mean from, let's say, a social pressure sort of point of view. You know, I'm not talking about higher status necessarily, or more money, or getting married, or having children, or anything like that. I'm going to be talking about your personal spiritual journey. So where are you meant to be 5 years from now with respect to your spiritual development, with your evolution, best case scenario, right? And also I'm going to ask how you can get there, okay? Because I have to respect free will. So the truth is that the future is not set in stone, and every person has the ability to alter their future. So that's why I'm not going to ask where are you going to be 5 years from now, because that sounds very deterministic. Then I also have to say that I actually wanted to use 4 piles for today, but I kept, you know, concentrating on the question, and I asked Spirit which crystals I should use, and I could only come up with these 3. So apparently Spirit really wants there to be 3 piles for this reading. So this is why I chose 3 piles, just to let you know. Okay, so that's for the video introduction. And again, before I get into the pile description, I also want to say that I'm going to be using astrological insights as well. So you have 3 piles to choose from. This is for those of you who want to choose with crystals and only crystals. Pile number 1 is this ruby zoisite crystal. Pile number 2 is this milky quartz crystal. Pile number 3 is this amethyst crystal. Okay, so if you need more time to choose, pause the video. Take as much time as you need. Again, close your eyes, meditate upon the question. Try to exhale longer than you inhale. That will help calm you down. And then open your eyes and choose the first pile that stands out to you instinctively. Once again, if you are drawn to more than 1 pile, of course you are free to listen to all of them, even, or 2 of them, and see which one resonates. I will see you at your reading. Alright, so this is the oracle card selection process for those of you who would like to choose with oracle cards as well. I'm going to ask the question to Spirit, and I'm also going to add timestamps so you can skip directly to the selection pile. Okay, Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 1? The people who chose the ruby and zoisite crystal. Where are they meant to be 5 years from now with respect to their spiritual evolution? What is the best case scenario, Spirit? Where are they meant to be 5 years from now? Where are they meant to be 5 years from now? Pile number 1, who chose the ruby and zoisite crystal. Where are they meant to be 5 years from now, Spirit? Where are they meant to be 5 years from now, Spirit? Where are they meant to be 5 years from now, Spirit? I'm getting this one, really. Or wait, no. I feel I should reshuffle. Spirit, where is pile number 1 meant to be 5 years from now with respect to their evolution overall? Where are they meant to be? Help me choose a tarot pile. Help me choose a tarot pile. This one, okay. Spirit, where is pile number 2 meant to be 5 years from now? The people who chose the milky quartz crystal, where are they meant to be 5 years from now? Spirit, help me choose a tarot pile with respect to their evolution overall, their best case scenario, spiritual evolution. These two wanted to come out. Wait. No, I'm not feeling it. Spirit, where's pile 2 meant to be 5 years from now? Help me choose a tarot pile. A tarot card, sorry. This one. I'm feeling this one. Spirit, where is pile 3 meant to be 5 years from now? What is the best case scenario with respect to their spiritual evolution? The people who chose the amethyst crystal, where are they meant to be 5 years from now? Where are they meant to be 5 years from now, Spirit, with respect to their spiritual evolution? Where are they meant to be 5 years from now? Where are they meant to be 5 years from now, Spirit? This one. Okay. So, pile number 1, you have Rose Garden. Pile number 2, you have The Journey. Pile number 3, you have Liberty. Okay. So, you can pause the video if you need more time to meditate upon the options. Once again, I do suggest that you close your eyes, you meditate upon the question, where am I meant to be 5 years from now with respect to my spiritual evolution? What is the best case scenario for me? I know that is quite a long question, but it is important to make it a focus to talk about your spiritual evolution. Okay, so where are you meant to be five years from now? And also, what advice can Spirit give you about how to get there? Okay, so focus on these questions with your eyes closed. Try to breathe slowly. Exhale longer than you inhale. That will help you calm down. And then open your eyes and choose the first pile that stands out to you instinctively. And I will see you at your reading. Hello, pile number 1. This is your reading if you have chosen this ruby zoisite crystal and or this card that says Rose Garden, sorry, for which I will read the description at the end. So I'm going to try a bit of an interesting format here. I'm going to divide the cards into present, intermediary energy, and final energy. So this is going to be where you should be 5 years from now, and this is going to be where the where you are right now. And here in the middle, there are going to be advice about what you should do to reach that destination, your best version of you within 5 years, okay? But I'm gonna get more explanations, give more explanations as I go along. So this is going to be the shuffling phase. Once again, you can skip directly to the card interpretation because I'm going to take my time selecting the cards. Okay, so Spirit, what can you tell me about pile 1? The people who chose the ruby zoisite crystal. Where are they right now energetically? Where are they energetically right now, Spirit? The people who chose the ruby zoisite crystal, where are they right now energetically? Spirit, what can you tell me about pile 1? The people who chose the ruby zoisite crystal, where are they right now with respect to their lives, to their evolution, their spiritual evolution? Where is pile number 1 right now with respect to their evolution overall? Help me choose a card, Spirit. I'm still getting this one, so here it is. Spirit, where can pile number 1 be 5 years from now with respect to their evolution? What is the best version of them they can reach 5 years from now, Spirit? What is the best version of them they can reach, Spirit? What is the best version of them that they can reach? What is the best version of them that they can reach 5 years from now? Spirit, how can pile number 1 reach the best version of themselves? What actions should they take? What energies should they focus on? What areas of their lives should they focus on? What should they focus on to reach the best version of themselves 5 years from now? I'm also getting this one, really. I'm getting a lot of cards, so yeah. The middle is going to be the most populated. Okay, so you have 3 of Cups. And you have 3 of Wands. Interesting. So this is your present. Okay. What can you do to get there to your... Oh, wait, I should start with... I should start where are you going to be 5 years from now? Queen of Cups. And 3 of Coins, or 3 of Pentacles. Here we have Queen of Swords. And we have King of Swords and 9 of Coins, or 9 of Pentacles. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna get more cards. Spirit, where is pile number 1 right now energetically with respect to their spiritual evolution? Help me out here. Where is pile number 1 right now with respect to their spiritual evolution, with respect to their destiny? Where are they right now, Spirit? At present, what is their overall energy? Help me choose the right cards. Definitely getting this one. I'm definitely getting this one. Also getting this one very strongly. Okay. So you have the Queen of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. All right. Spirit, where is pile number 1 going to be 5 years from now? What is the best case scenario for them energetically with respect to their evolution overall? What is the best version of themselves that they can reach 5 years from now, Spirit? Tell me. I'm getting all of these. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna go by feeling here. So, okay, the moon, the Eight of Pentacles. I'm struggling to get them together, so I'm going to put this here. Have to rearrange them a little bit. And then you have the World and the Five of Cups. Interesting. Okay. Spirit, what should pile number one focus on to get there, to get into the future? Spirit, what should pile number one focus on? What energies should they focus on? What qualities should they hone in on? Help me choose the right cards. What should they focus on? These three wanted to come out. So you have Seven of Wands, the Hanged Man, Judgment, okay. Now I'm going to get some oracle cards. I don't know where I'm going to put them, but yeah. So, Spirit, what qualities should pile number one focus on? What should they focus on energetically to get to the best version of themselves? What should they focus on? Sorry, I don't take flying cards. What should they focus on to reach the best version of themselves, Spirit? What should they focus on? Okay. Love and courage. I don't know where to put these, but yeah. I think I'm just... yeah, I'm gonna put them here. Hopefully I won't burn down my apartment. Okay. So, the reading of the oracle cards, okay? So, these oracle cards are what you need to focus on in order to reach the best version of you 5 years from now. So, courage. It says, divine courage is not the absence of fear, but a nudge that says, keep going, do it, don't worry, all will be well. You have to get quiet enough to hear it. Dear divine, may I feel your courage and your will. And the other one says, love. It's not about finding love. You are love itself. Help me, Lord, to send so much compassion and caring to the inner child that I always remember I myself am love. Okay? And the future self is this card over here that says Rose Garden, for which I am going to read the description from the booklet. Let me see. Sensitivity, awareness of nature, integrated whole strength. Look at this beautiful woman who has transformed into a flower. She holds a red blooming rose to the place where her heart belongs. Her hair has become a leaf blown by the wind. She is a part of nature that grows and grows stronger with her every gentle touch and loving gesture. She is not alone. Her friends and caterpillar, the caterpillar and butterfly are here to visit. Thorns threaten to prick her, but she is not scared. A rose is beautiful and strong because of its thorns, not in spite of them. Okay, very interesting. I actually feel like this is a confirmation of the Queen of Cups energy that also came out. So with respect to where you are right now, you have the Three of Wands and the Three of Cups and the Ace of Cups. So I think that you are this is a new beginning emotionally. Some of you might be in love. You have the Queen of Wands, the King of Pentacles. I also think that right now, or like this is, around this time, so recent past, near future, some of you may have been focusing on blending the masculine and feminine sides of you. This could also show that for some of you, this could literally be a relationship, a romantic relationship. This is a new beginning for you emotionally. If you are more of a feminine person, you are represented by the Queen of Wands. If you are the more masculine person, you are the King of Pentacles. So this shows a union between a person. The feminine is really passionate and the masculine is very pragmatic. Of course, this could just mean that you are integrating the feminine and masculine sides of yourself. Sorry about that. That was a tram. The Three of Wands and the Three of Cups is really interesting. You're also surrounded, I think, by, you're maybe not surrounded, but you are very focused on friendships and having a good time and enjoying the moment, I think. I think you really relish the small pleasures of life. You are also dreaming about traveling a lot, dreaming a lot about things that are outside of your comfort zone. But you are still not very determined or not very ready to take some leap of faith. So you're kind of in an expectative mode where you want to have a lot of experiences. You are yearning for a new beginning or new experiences that you want to have. Maybe to travel for a lot of you, I think that's a thing. But you're not quite sure how to get there or how to do it. Your strength right now is definitely in your relationships and your ability to make friends. Also your support network, whether you realize it or not. You are also, this is like, I think the beginning of love. So for some of you, this could just be that you are very focused on love in general right now. So it could be self-love, it could be emotional healing. But like I said, for some of you, you have just started a relationship or you're about to meet someone and have a relationship with them. This is like right about this time. There is also a shadow side to you that you are not dealing with, that you haven't dealt with, that might be preventing you from succeeding in life or from getting what you want out of life. The intermediary part is the Queen of Swords, King of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. Very interesting. I feel like also now that I look at this section, actually, I should start with the ending. Okay, so this is where you are meant to be 5 years from now. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Rose Garden, which to me is kind of like a confirmation of the Queen of Cups energy according to the description. You have the Moon, which further emphasizes the Queen of Cups, I think. You have the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Five of Cups, and you have the World card. The Five of Cups is probably the most interesting one right here, but I'm going to get to it. So with respect to where you're supposed to be, I think 5 years from now, you're supposed to be a person who's very emotionally mature, much more in touch with her intuition. And I say her, but because, I'm seeing predominantly feminine energies here, but this is irrespective of your gender. So you're supposed to be more in touch with your intuition, with your creativity. You're going to be passionately working towards something that really takes up a lot of your concentration, a lot of your focus. I'm seeing passion project, you know, something that really makes you happy. The Five of Cups here, I think, is actually about leaving things behind. It's about having the courage to leave your comfort zone, especially since this is the World card. And here you have the Three of Wands. I think that many of you have wanderlust, honestly. Like, you're probably the kind of person who dreams about visiting exotic places, or maybe you want to become like a digital nomad, or you want some kind of a lifestyle which is more flexible, where you have more freedom and you can just travel. Maybe not as much as you feel like, but at least travel more than you do right now. So in this context, especially, you know, because of the World card here, I think that actually the Five of Cups here is about you having the courage to leave your comfort zone. Especially since the meaning of this card shows that this is a person who's kind of hung up on what they don't have, failing to see that actually there are opportunities right next to them. Or just across the bridge. Because if you look closely in this photo, see, there's like a bridge there. The message of this photo is basically that this person, see how the land that he sits on is barren, and, you know, there's no grass, there's no vegetation, and he's sitting here crying over spilled milk. Meanwhile, all he has to do is cross the bridge, and there's a castle, and there's lush vegetation there. So there's like a message here that this person, all he or she, well, he in this photo has to do is to walk over the bridge, get out of their comfort zone, and they will reach a place of prosperity, a place of more opportunities. So, I mean, this is what I see mainly. You are meant to become a person who's really creative. I think for many of you, this could be working on some kind of a creative project, some kind of a passion project, like I said. Because of the Eight of Pentacles, here's also because of the Three of Pentacles. So the best version of you that you can be 5 years from now is a person who is well on their way to becoming a very skilled professional, a freelancer, someone who is either on the way to very, very close to becoming a very good professional, or already a very good professional, an established professional who is selling his or her skills and is very sought after. Also a person who's very good at using communication to forge strong connections, especially in the professional world. So this is a person who can easily communicate to people from all walks of life. A person who's very good at managing people as well. So this could even be, for some of you, something to do with psychology as well. Also, because of the moon here, I think that your main development 5 years from now is going to be to integrate different sides of yourself. The moon, because of the imagery in this card, has to do with integrating the conscious and the subconscious mind. And this is also kind of like, the first card here is the Queen of Wands. So this shows a person who has a shadow side that is, well, very much in the shadows. The person is not aware of what is holding them back psychologically. The moon shows the bridge between the subconscious and the conscious. So I feel like your job 5 years from now is to have processed almost all of what is holding you back psychologically. All of your complexes, all of your, if you have traumas, which to some extent everyone has, figuring out, you know, healing yourself emotionally, maybe seeing a therapist within until that point. And now, once you reach this stage, you will be a person who, because you don't have a shadow side to hold you back, you actually only use the good parts of your sensitivity. So you are a sensitive person. But you need to, and maybe this is also why you have the Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups. So like, Ace of Cups and Three of Cups shows kind of like a baby energy when it comes to the Cups energy, right? Because they are like minor arcana. And here you have like the Queen of Cups. You also have the Moon, which is also water energy, but it's more evolved. The Moon also can be linked to travel. A person who is, very keen on traveling. So it's kind of like a reinforcement of the World card as well. Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So I think your job is to become a very mature person. Mature person who's good at interacting with others, knows how to spot opportunities, is not afraid to leave your comfort zone. And because of that, you will have the world at your feet. You will have opportunities opening up for you that you would never think were possible, would have never thought were possible. You will also have discipline, higher levels of discipline and patience and endurance. Yeah, and like I say, I feel like you are going to learn to make the most of your sensitivity and no longer, I also feel like this Five of Cups card could show that maybe, it could show your attitude towards yourself, Like you will leave the negative things behind, the negative emotions. Because again, Five of Cups is also about cups. So it's about emotions. But this is what I can see for you 5 years from now. And in the middle, you have this. So this is the advice from Spirit, what you should be focusing on. These 6 cards here. You have the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the Hanged Man, and Judgment. So these cards clearly show you need to change your perspective on things. So this also feels like a reinforcement here of the Five of Cups. You need to stop, you need to look around and see the opportunities around you. This is a strong message. You also have the Oracle cards that say courage and love. So you need to focus on loving yourself. You need to understand, like the card says, you are love itself. Help me, Lord, to send so much compassion and caring to the inner child that I always remember I myself am love. So you need to focus on loving yourself. And I know that's kind of cliche, but it's really coming up as a message for you particularly. And courage goes hand in hand with the Three of Wands here. Like I said, here you're kind of like in an expectative mode. You're kind of hesitating a lot now. And the courage card is like, and also the Queen of Swords here. And also here, the Seven of Wands is about cultivating endurance. And the Queen and the King of Swords is about you being rational. So it's about becoming more analytical, focusing on your intellectual skills. I think you definitely have prime intellectual skills, but you need to be more rational and more analytical. And I think this goes hand in hand with what I said about your emotions and your shadow side. So I feel like right now you should be focusing on analyzing yourself, analyzing your behavior, trying to understand why you do the things you do, where your bad habits are coming from, undoing a lot of your bad habits if you have them. But basically, from, around present time until around 5 years from now, you need to focus on being rational, analytical, understanding things, and also about, look at this, the Queen of Swords and the Seven of Wands, cultivating endurance, resilience. The Queen of Swords is a very no-nonsense kind of person, a person who dares to look at the truth no matter how painful it is, which also kind of goes hand in hand with what I said about psychology, because it takes, it does take courage and it takes, endurance to maybe look at yourself in a very cold-blooded way and maybe deal with traumas that you have been burying down for a long time, or deal with insecurities that you have had that have held you back. Going to therapy is it takes courage, especially if you haven't been to therapy before. But if you cannot afford therapy, this could just be about helping yourself, going, looking for books that help you to understand yourself, courses, all kinds of resources, because there are also a lot of free resources, to understand yourself, your psychology. Because you have that message about loving yourself, there are all these books about how to parent yourself, how to be, take care of your inner child. Especially for those of you who maybe have had bad childhoods. I'm not saying that everyone here has had, but even for people who had good childhoods on the surface, quote unquote, you don't know how some of those early experiences may have affected you negatively without even realizing it. But another message that I get here about the Queen and the King of Swords being together, I feel like you need to focus on integrating the feminine and masculine sides of you. Because look at this. Here you have the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups between, which is really interesting. So it feels like, one way, like I said, this could be different ways to interpret this. For some of you, it could literally be that you are in love right now. You're starting a new emotional chapter. For some of you, and even maybe it could be maybe you have also started a romantic relationship, but this can still apply to you. Like there could be a conflict between your masculine and feminine sides, where the masculine side of you is the one that is more rational and very focused on pragmatism, and the feminine side of you is much more passionate, wants to go out there and experience things and start things, is like very idealistic as well, but maybe not as cautious, not as pragmatic. So like there's this little conflict here. But then you also have the Ace of Cups, which shows like love is the way to integrate these two parts of yourselves. Interesting, because the Queen of Swords also speaks of Queen of Wands speaks of the shadow side. So for some of you, the shadow side could be connected to the masculine, maybe even, or maybe the feminine. It depends on what it is that you want to achieve. In any case, there is a part of you that is basically getting in your way. That is the message of these cards. So you also have to focus on the Nine of Pentacles here. So the Nine of Pentacles, or the Nine of Coins, is about being self-sufficient. So for some of you, there's definitely a strong message that you need to focus on being independent financially, working on your finances, learning how to take care of yourself financially. Changing your perspective on things. So for some of you, depending on the situation, maybe you are depending too much on other people materially. So this is definitely a message that you need to get out there and, try different things and learn to take care of yourself. With the Judgment card, there's a message that you need to be discerning. There's also a message that you have to have faith in a higher power. The Judgment card is a card that speaks of fate. So I think for some of you, this is like a message that, you need to focus on fate. You need to focus on what God expects from you, basically. You need to trust God, basically, or trust divinity. I don't mean like the God of the Bible, but, like a higher power, whatever it is you want to call it, creator, gods, goddesses, but something out there, that is going to help you, is going to help you to guide you to your destination. The discernment here, for those of you, especially for those of you who are very focused on relationships, because I definitely also see this, the Three of Cups especially shows that you are focused on socializing a lot. This may not necessarily be like romantic relationships, but you are focused on relationships, I think, a lot. So the Judgment card here, also with the Five of Cups. When the Five of Cups, when it comes to relationships, also, it's a card that makes me think you need to be discerning. And the Judgment card kind of reinforces that. It's also about discernment. It's about being selective. So it's also about you having the courage to only choose the people who are right for you and only allow those people near you. Don't allow people near you who are not from your soul tribe, who are not really supportive of your development. If that makes sense. The Seven of Wands is kind of like always also along these lines. It's really interesting. So I feel like there's definitely a strong message here that you need to be discerning about the people around you because of the Queen of Swords and the Seven of Wands underneath. So it's like you need to be more rational. You need to be, basically, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty a little bit. Maybe even burn some bridges if necessary. If there are people around you that are not supporting you, you need to understand that in order to, reach the best version that you can be, you need to, let some people go out of your life. But yeah, pretty much this is what I can see. You definitely need to change your mind. But yeah, I think this is it. This is about this. All of the things that I've mentioned previously basically translate into you having to change your mind, change your perspective about how you see things. So you need to understand that there are opportunities next to you. You also need to try to analyze yourself and your behavior. I feel like there is definitely a message that you might have more blind spots than you realize, and they might be holding you back. So yeah, pretty much this is what I can see from the cards. So I'm going to select messages now. Spirit, where does pile number 1, where can they be 5 years from now if they reach their highest potential? Where can they be 5 years from now if they reach their highest potential? Spirit, where can they be 5 years from now if they reach their highest potential? Where could they be 5 years from now if they reach their highest potential? Where could pile number 1 be 5 years from now? Spirit, what can pile number 1 focus on in order to reach their highest potential? What can pile number 1 focus on to reach their highest potential? Okay. Spirit, where is pile number 1's energy right now? Where's pile number 1's energy right now? This. Okay. So your energy right now, 5th house, doesn't surprise me. 2nd house. 10th house. Okay. So with the 5th house and the 10th house, many of you could be studying right now. You are still focusing. You could be in school. You're orientating yourself to university or something like that. You're definitely also focused on, having fun. You're still very much in touch with your family of origin, I feel. Maybe even depending on the family of origin. You are also definitely focusing on money, and you have your eyes set on building a career, building a social status. And that takes up a lot of your energy. You're thinking about those things a lot. For some of you who are more mature, this could be you teaching. You're focusing on teaching. You're focusing on love and romance and having fun, which is kind of a reinforcement of the Three of Wands energy. So let me see. Let me see actually first about where you can get. 5 years from now, 6th house. 5th house again. 12th house. Eighth house, not surprising now because you have the moon energy. 11th house, really interesting. Okay, so when it comes to where you are supposed to be 5 years from now, 5th house, the 5th house energy is still going to be there. So you're still going to be focusing on education. You're still going to have a creative, fun side. However, you're going to be focusing that energy on 6th house matters. This is service. Some of you, with these houses actually, I think a lot of you are meant for something to do with psychology, medical science. Actually, I know I'm getting into careers here, but especially for those of you who are still studying or you are thinking about changing career paths, this is a message. Like, you are meant to have a higher understanding of your emotions, of your limitations, of your limiting beliefs. You are going to have a much sharper intuition. The thing is that you already have a sharp intuition, but 5 years from now, if you really do the work, you will really know how to use it, you know? You're going to be able to use your intuition to help other people. So this could even be like, for some of you, you know, being a tarot reader or an astrologer, something esoteric like that, a healer in alternative, unconventional ways. So something like Reiki, like a yoga teacher. But I think for many of you, you're definitely going to be much more understanding of your psychology and of other people's psychology. You're going to deal with crisis situations a lot better. You're going to basically be transformed. You're also going to have good friendships, a good friendship circle. And also, you're going to travel to faraway places. 12th house is the house of travel. You might even, you know, be traveling to other continents. You might also be, this is unrelated, but you might actually get into investments. You might be definitely in a much better place financially, much more knowledgeable about how to invest your money, how to make use of your resources. Yeah, definitely. This is pretty much what I see. Let me see how you're supposed to get there. 4th house, interesting. 4th house. 9th house. 7th house. So 4th house is very interesting here. For some of you, very specifically, this could be about focusing on real estate. See how that resonates. Focusing on learning about real estate maybe, or investing in real estate. Somehow, of course, this has to do, I think, with the 9 of Pentacles here, about how to get a better financial situation. Could also be about something to do with vehicles. For some of you, this could also have something to do with like the hotel business, although the hotel business is not so great nowadays since the pandemic. but I mean, it is slowly having a comeback. Also feel like there's a focus here on justice, equilibrium. So I feel like the 7th house to some extent is a bit of a confirmation of the Judgment card, because this is about being fair, learning how to deal with other people, like I said, because in one-on-one situations especially, because you also have, here you have the 3 of Pentacles, so social skills are going to be important for your evolution. But 7th house also has to do with therapy, like I mentioned initially, because it's a one-on-one situation. The 9th house has to do with also travel, so it's like taking risks and taking long journeys. But it's also about educating yourself. Like I said, it's really, you know, broadening your horizons. So this could be, of course, in countless ways. It could be starting a new study program or educating yourself about different things. But I feel like the 9th house probably has something to do with the Hangman. You know, it's about changing your perspective or broadening your perspective on the things that you know, trying different things, you know, broadening your horizon. The 4th house also has to do with the motherland, sorry. The mother's family, the mother's side of the family. So I think that goes hand in hand with, and also, wow, like now that I look at it, the 4th house is the mother in astrology, and the 9th house is one of the houses of the father. The 10th house is also the house of the father. So, and the 2nd house is the house of the family of origin. So I feel like this is kind of a confirmation of what I said initially, that I think a lot of you, maybe you have some kind of ways in which you need to work through the relationships with your family members. And I feel like this also has to do with the integration of the feminine and the masculine in your life. It's about, you know, you need to basically tie some loose ends when it comes to your family, I feel. Your family of origin. So since you have the 4th house twice, the 9th house and the 7th house, for some of you, this could definitely be about, you know, going to therapy and making sense of your early childhood environment and dynamics between your parents. And that in turn will help you balance the masculine and feminine in your life, in yourself actually. For some of you, very specifically, especially if you have been considering this, it's about potentially going into partnership-based business or into business connected to the 4th house and the 9th house. So especially partnership-based business, but it can be just business of any kind connected to 4th house and 9th house, which means real estate, tourism. I would say especially tourism. I'm seeing this for a lot of you. Hotel management, restaurant business, that kind of thing. But this could be even teaching of different kinds in primary schools, as well as for some of you higher education. So being like a professor or teaching things online. So these are the things that you should be focusing on, and these will help you reach your final form basically 5 years from now. 5 years from now, you still have the teaching. So I definitely feel like for some of you, this could be about, you know, teaching online or something like that. 8th house has to do with foreign languages as well. So I'm definitely feeling like for some of you, this could be relocation or traveling a lot more, something to do with foreign cultures. Of course, 9th house can also, to some extent, have to do with foreign cultures as well. So, you know, having contact with people from faraway places. But yeah, pretty much this is what I can see in your reading. So I hope you have enjoyed it, because I definitely have. I thought it was really interesting, and I hope it resonated. And once again, please comment in the comment section with anything you would care to share about the reading. I would be very curious to hear your opinions. And also, if you have liked the video, please please subscribe to my channel. It is free, and it is the easiest way to support me. It will only take a second. And also, if you're interested in a personal consultation, I do consultations. I offer 3 main options: a short 1-question reading for about 26 euros, a extended question reading for 35 euros, and 2-question reading, my minimum 30 minutes recorded audio for 62 euros plus transfer costs. And if you are interested in hearing feedbacks from other clients that I have had, as well as, you know, some sample readings, I can send you all those things on email. By email, you can find my email in the video description. Okay, thank you. Hello, pile number 2. This is your reading if you have chosen this milky quartz crystal and or this card that says the journey. So this is going to represent the future you. I'm going to divide this reading into 3 parts. I'm going to describe your present situation right now, where you're going to be 5 years from now, and then in between I'm going to look at messages that Spirit can give you, advice on how to get to your future self, okay? So this is going to be the shuffling part. You can skip this part directly to the interpretation because I'm going to be taking my time selecting the cards. So Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 2, the people who chose the milky quartz crystal? Where are they? Present tense. Okay. 5 of coins. Okay. Spirit, where is pile number 2 present tense? Where are they energetically? What are they focused on in recent past, near future? What is happening in their lives? What are they focused on, Spirit? What is their energy? Help me choose a tarot pile. Help me choose a tarot pile. Still getting this one. Okay, so you have 7 of Cups. Interesting. Okay. Spirit, where can pile number 2 get 5 years from now? Where are they meant to be 5 years from now with respect to their potential, with respect to their spiritual evolution? Where are they meant to be 5 years from now, Spirit? Where's pile number 2 meant to be 5 years from now? What is the best version they can reach 5 years from now? Tell me anything you're willing to share. I'm getting these, this one as well. No, not so much. I think I'm going to stop at 3. So you have strength. Ace of Wands. And 7 of Pentacles. Very nice. Come on. Come on, card. Sorry, whoops. Okay. So this is your future. Spirit, how can they get to their future selves? What should they focus on? What do they need to focus on, Spirit, to get to their future selves? What does pile number 2, the Milky Quartz group, need to focus on to reach their future selves? The Hierophant. Spirit, what does pile number 2 have to focus on to reach their future self? Whoa. These came out. So, yeah, I'm going to stick to what came out. It's like, normally I would not take flying cards, but I had a strong feeling that for you, these cards popped out for a reason. All right. Now I'm going to take more cards. Spirit, what does pile number 2 need to focus on? Sorry, what is pile number 2's best version of themselves 5 years from now? What is the maximum development they can reach? What is their highest potential to reach 5 years from now? Who are they meant to be 5 years from now? Help me choose some tarot cards, Spirit. Who are they meant to be 5 years from now? Who are they meant to be 5 years from now? Okay. The Knight of Pentacles. The Nine of Swords. The Empress. Interesting. Okay. Spirit, where is pile number 2 right now energetically? Near past, sorry, near future, recent past. Where are they at? What is their energy? What are they focused on right now? What are they focused on? This? I don't know. This one. Okay, I'm going to shuffle again. What are they focused on energetically, Spirit? What is pile 2 focused on? Okay. So we have Page of Wands. Strength. Again. So strength is something that is an important component for you, okay? Spirit, tell me, what should pile number 2 focus on to reach their best potential selves 5 years from now? What should they focus on to reach their highest potential, Spirit? What should they focus on to reach their highest potential, Spirit? What should pile number 2 focus on to reach their highest potential? Help me out here, Spirit. What should they focus on? What should pile number 2 focus on to reach their highest potential? I'm getting this one, actually. Okay, so you have the 2 of Cups. You have the Hierophant and the 2 of Cups underneath. Very interesting. 10 of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. Okay. I'm going to need 2 oracle cards. Spirit, what should pile number 2 focus on in order to reach the best, the highest potential they can reach 5 years from now? What should pile number 2 focus on to reach the best potential selves 5 years from now? What should pile number 2 focus on? I wasn't getting that one. What should pile number 2 focus on to reach their highest potential? What should pile number 2 focus on, Spirit? What should they focus on? What should pile number 2 focus on, Spirit? I'm still getting, no, actually, I'm not feeling this one. Okay. Spirit, pile number 2, what should they focus on to reach their highest potential 5 years from now? This one. All right. So you have hardship and love. Love. It's not about finding love. You are love itself. Help me, Lord, to send so much compassion and caring to the inner child that I always remember I myself am love. And then you have hardship. May I embrace what's happening right now, as baffling or painful as it is. Help me, God, to trust where you are guiding me. I am yours. Very interesting. So, I mean, the hardship card, to me, is a reinforcement of the strength card, which also came out twice for you. So I feel like that's a particularly strong energy to focus on. Now I'm going to read the description about this card. So this is also has to do with your highest potential and how you can reach it. And I'm going to read the description from the booklet. Let me see. Number 19, The Journey. Love of adventure, curiosity, appreciation. A young girl gently rides a deer. Both the girl and the deer are having fun on their adventure. They are playful and curious. Sometimes we get so caught up in the destination, we forget to appreciate the journey. But if we neglect the little things on our path, like soft grass under our feet or the unconditional love of an animal, we are missing out on precious moments. A new friend or acquaintance with a different point of view can help us see things we may have overlooked. Very interesting. So that has to do with your highest potential. Very interesting cards, really. Okay, so with respect to where you are right now, you have the 5 of Coins, you have the 7 of Cups, you have the Page of Wands, and you have Strength. So I definitely see financial worries for a lot of you. You're stressed out about your finances. You are also having trouble distinguishing real opportunities from fake opportunities. The 7 of Cups is a card that basically says not all that glitters is gold. So you might be a person who goes for, you know, things that look shiny and bright that immediately catch your eye, and you might be wasting your energy on things that actually are, I don't know, how should I put them, basically just false opportunities. Okay, so they're not actually things that are going to help you in the long run. This could be anything. Okay, so this could be how you spend your energy on a daily basis. This could be career opportunities, like maybe going for jobs that are not right for you. And you know, like for example, what this makes me think of is going for jobs that, let's say, pay you a little bit more, but you don't really read the contract properly. So you might actually get entangled in things that are not offering you that much, or like they might actually be very insecure, but they try to catch you, you know, try to get you hooked by offering more money. But in reality, there's like a lot of hardships connected to that, you know, that you don't see at first. And the job might actually cause you a lot of problems, or might be unstable, or won't last as long. So you tend to go for things that catch your attention, everything that is new, I think. I also think that for some of you, this is about not making your mind up in general. I think you have a problem with indecisiveness. You could be a person who has a lot of opportunities. This could be, I'm guessing, because of the 5 of Coins here, this is actually not so much about opportunities, about finances. This could be for some of you also about job opportunities, stuff like that, but this is more about actually relationships, I think, for a lot of you. Matters of the heart. You're the kind of person who, you know, invests emotions in things that are not either not real, so you don't see things clearly, or they're just not good long-term investments. This could even be like you have a lot of opportunities romantically and you don't know for which person to go, which person to go for. Or it might be that you are just so too naive, too innocent, you let people bamboozle you too easily. Especially since there's no air here. So I don't see you as being very analytical based on this energy. So this is about like, especially recent past or near future. This is your energy right now. Page of Wands, I think, shows idealism. So it's kind of like goes hand in hand with the Seven of Cups. You have a youthful energy. You have creative energy. But you're not very focused. I feel like there's an energy of scatteredness here. Your energy is scattered. Your strength is your strength. You have a lot of endurance. You have a lot of, I feel like the core of you have a lot of inner strength, but you may not be aware of it. This is like, because of this Page of Wands and Seven of Cups, I feel like you're more youthful at heart. Some of you might actually be young, or irrespective of your age, you may not have a lot of experience. You may have had a sheltered experience, I think. Some of you. For others of you, it's not necessarily that you've had like a sheltered experience, but something is still kind of like naive. You're willing to give other people the benefit of the doubt all the time, and that gets you hurt. That gets you into trouble when you trust other people. And this could be in every way. It could be romantically, it could be about signing contracts, anything. But I'm definitely getting a scattered sort of energy here. And I'm also getting struggles about finances. So you are worrying. You're worrying about finances, but at the same time, you either don't see that you have opportunities next to you, or you're too prideful to ask for help of any kind, even though there might be people around you willing to help. So this is about like your current energy. Where you are meant to be 5 years from now. So the strength is still here. So this is, this shows me that the strength is going to help you, okay? But then you have the Ace of Wands, you have the Seven of Coins, you have the Empress, you have the Nine of Swords, which is the most interesting, and the Knight of Pentacles, and then you also have the Journey card. You still have a 7, but you have a 7 of Coins, 7 of Pentacles. The Ace of Wands and the Nine of Swords, really interesting here. So 5 years from now, I definitely feel like, again, and I mentioned this as a disclaimer in the beginning, in the introduction of the video. So when I say 5 years from now, best case scenario, when I said best case scenario, I'm not necessarily talking about social success or like, success in a socially acceptable manner. I'm talking about spiritual evolution. So I definitely see that if you play your cards right, you're actually going to be in a place of considerable anxiety 5 years from now. But the anxiety is actually not going to be from a bad place. I think it will be from you moving into a space of abundance, starting something, a project. So if you do things right, 5 years from now, I think you will be, a lot of you, this is about you starting a new job, or starting not a new job. It could be a new venture of any kind. So Ace of Wands definitely shows a new beginning. So 5 years from now, there's a new beginning. Okay. So this is if you really work on, I'm going to look at what you have to do to get here, right? But look at this. You have the Empress, you have the Strength, you have the Seven of Pentacles, which is about working towards financial stability, and then you have the Knight of Pentacles. So 5 years from now, you're going to be well on your way to becoming financially self-sufficient. So this is definitely getting, giving me vibes about becoming an entrepreneur, starting your own business, maybe even a side hustle. So, and I think that this anxiety is going to go hand in hand with the Ace of Wands. So it's kind of like a normal anxiety to some extent. You're going to be having the courage and the strength to let go of your comfort zone, I think. You're going to have the courage and the strength to jump towards something you really want to achieve. You're going to be in a much better place professionally. The Empress is really interesting. So for some of you, more specifically, this could even be something to do with fitness goals, because the Empress has to do with physical beauty. So, especially for women, but it can even be if you're a man. So I think that, you're 5 years from now, if you focus on this energy, if you do all the work, you're going to be an Empress. You're going to be, very comfortable in your feminine energy, very attractive, abundant. For some of you, this could even be like, motherhood, because the Empress is a very nurturing sort of energy. And you're also going to be in a position of, well on your way to becoming financially successful, and definitely in a much better place financially than you are right now. That's what I see. The Empress actually gives me it's really interesting, because like when I looked at this card here with the woman and the deer, I kind of, thought about nature. So I think, again, very specifically for some of you, this could be about, for those of you who have this goal, like maybe some of you are students right now and you're studying. For some of you, this could be about something to do with nature. You could be working in nature conservation, a veterinary doctor, anything to do with working with animals, working with nature, protecting nature. And it's really interesting here because you also have these deer, or like deer-like creatures here on this card, the Seven of Coins. And you also have a lion again. Really interesting. So I wonder if some of you have Leo energy. This is about creativity as well. But this is another thing. The Ace of Wands show that you are going to have renewed passion, renewed energy, a new beginning definitely in life. So basically, yes, I don't think that this is like bad anxiety. This is like kind of like normal anxiety that comes with you making big changes in your life, starting a new road, starting up on a new road, like maybe, maybe you're going to quit your job 5 years from now and, going to make a decision to dedicate yourself to your business full time, for example. And with respect to what you're supposed to focus on, you have the Hierophant and the Two of Cups. This is very specific. So I think, now again, I could be off on a limb here, but I think this is a message that some of you might be chasing excitement in relationships. Like maybe your relationship situation is unstable. Maybe you've had a lot of relationships, but none of them really materialized into something stable and long lasting. For some of you, it could be that you haven't even had any kind of a relationship, not a serious relationship. But if that is the case, I think that there is a message here that has to do with you kind of not seeing things clearly, not seeing people clearly, maybe having unrealistic expectations. But I think mainly it's about you not seeing people for what they are. I think you tend to idealize people. So with the Hierophant and the Two of Cups, there's a message that you need to focus on long-term relationships. You need to focus on healthy, mutually respectful partnerships where both partners are equally involved. They're equally working on maintaining the relationship. Basically, a relationship that is working towards towards marriage, I think, for most of you, because of the Hierophant here. You also have the number 5. Let me see. Yeah, you have the number 5 a lot. I definitely feel like some of you might have like a strong 5th house, strong Leo energy, because Leo corresponds to the 5th house in astrology, and also the sun. So I think a lot of creativity, a lot of romance, is a lot of romanticism. Maybe Pisces as well. So I think, yeah, this is definitely a message for a lot of you. You need to focus on relationships that are going to stand the test of time, that are serious, that are mutually, you know, where the people have mutual respect and love and admiration, and they're both individuals are free to be themselves, because you have that message of love and hardship. So it's like there's also a message that accept that the challenges that are coming your way are part of God's plan. And I know that sounds cheesy, but I think it's a message, definitely, that you are meant to go through hardships to build your strength, especially since you have the strength twice. So your willpower, your determination, your resilience is being tested. So take it like that, you know, think about that when you're going through hardships. The love message is similar to pile number 1. So if you were drawn to pile number 1, maybe also check it out if you were drawn to it. Otherwise, no. But yes, you also have the love message. So the love message is about you learning self-love. And with the Hierophant and the 2 of Cups here, there's definitely a strong message that you need to choose partners who love you the same way that you love them, okay? But first you need to learn to love yourself, and that will help you choose the right partner. That's the way that I would interpret it. There's also a message about the 6 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles. Focus on building a legacy. So there's a message here that you need to think about the long term. You know, so don't just think about, I think this also goes hand in hand with the 7 of Cups here and the 5 of Coins. Like, I think when it comes to your finances, you need to think about the long term. So don't just, for example, again, I go back to the original example about the job. So if you have to choose between 2 jobs, and one of them, let's say, is for Microsoft or another like established multinational company, and the other one is for a crappy little company that nobody has ever heard of, but they offer you twice the salary. Think about the long term, okay? The small company may give you a higher salary, but they may not be able to guarantee that you will still have a job a year from now. Or on top of which, they may not have opportunities for you to grow professionally. On top of which, it will look a lot better on your resume if you work for Microsoft, even if you have less money, then it will look to have worked for some small company, some small startup that nobody heard about, right? So that's an example where I think you need to think about the long term. Think about where you want to be, you know, 5-10 years from now in your career. Don't just think about what is the flashiest offer, what is the most attractive, you know, job that has the most perks. Don't just go for a job because they have snacks every Friday for every employee or something. You know what I'm talking about. Or they have cool team buildings. Think about where you want to be, where you want to, how you want to grow, what you want your career to look like. What is your legacy to the world, basically? The 6 of Wands speaks of you have had successes, okay? No matter who you are, no matter what you have done up until this point, everyone has had victories in this life. But the 6 of Wands is telling you, focus on celebrating the small victories as well as the big ones. Don't postpone your happiness until, you know, you reach Mount Everest, or like until you reach the everything that you have ever wanted out of life, and you tell yourself, I'm only going to be happy when this happens. The 6 of Wands is a card that tells you you need to celebrate every little victory that you have had. And you definitely have things to celebrate. Be grateful as well. Have an attitude of gratitude. And that will help you be more positive and stay open to opportunities. The Two of Swords, again, I feel kind of like goes hand in hand with this energy here that I said originally, like you look kind of scattered. So the Two of Swords speaks of indecisiveness. So there's like, you know, you tend to be indecisive. You tend to hesitate too much. Again, it makes me think of the Seven of Cups. So this could be, again, it could be with respect to career, but it could also be with respect to relationships. You know, like you don't know which way to go. But actually, in this context, I think it's more to do with your finances and your career, actually, here, because you have the Ace of Pentacles. So I think that this is a message that you need to go for, you know, follow the money, basically. This makes me think of that scene in Jerry Maguire with Show Me the Money. You can Google it, it's funny. So it's like, I mean, again, I know it sounds kind of contradictory because here I said don't focus on the money. But again, when I say here, you need to follow the money, I'm not just talking about, you know, going for the biggest sum. But look for the options that are actually going to lead to your financial stability in the long term. Focus on opportunities, taking opportunities as they come. I definitely feel like this is a strong message here, especially when it comes to finances and career. Because remember, you started with the Five of Coins, so you're not in a great place financially. Okay, so this is a message here that you need to open your eyes to see all the opportunities around you. But also keep working on your craft, whatever your craft is. So this is also about discipline and structure, but it's also about focusing on creating a legacy and thinking about your duty to society at large, thinking about how you can be of service to society at large. So this is pretty much what I can see from the cards. Let me take my astrological notes now. Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 2? What is the highest potential they can reach 5 years from now? What is the best version they can reach 5 years from now, Spirit? What can you tell me about pile number 2? What can you tell me about pile number 2 5 years from now? What is their highest potential? What is their highest potential, Spirit? Spirit, where is pile number 2 right now? Where are they right now energetically? Spirit, where is pile number 2 right now? Where are they energetically? What are they focused on? This is like too many. I'm not getting that one so much. I'm not getting this one, actually. Wait. Yeah, these. Spirit, how can pile number 2 reach their highest potential? Help me out, okay? Spirit, how can pile number 2 reach their highest potential 5 years from now? How can pile number 2 reach their highest potential 5 years from now? All right. So let's see. You are 9th house. First house. 5th house. So yeah, 5th house is kind of Leo energy, like I said. So I definitely think for some of you, you are a student. You know, you're still focused on your education. Maybe you are specializing yourself. Maybe you are considering, you know, changing your career or taking up courses. You know, educating yourself a lot. You might be focused on traveling as well. You also are quite philosophical, but I think this could be in general. Maybe even religious for some of you. You might be focused on a religious study, attitude towards life, maybe. First house, this is really focused on yourself, you know. Yeah, focused on romance is a lot as well. Like I said with the Seven of Cups, so I think that you could be a bit of a butterfly, you know. Fifth house as well is also about education. So I definitely think that a lot of you are focused on, you know, learning new skills. You're maybe still in college, in high school even. Um, you know, if you are older, again, or maybe considering going back to college, something like that, you're also in an energy of just figuring out what you love. You have still a very positive energy, which is also good. Like, I feel there's still like an enthusiasm, a vitality about you. Okay, so let me see where you're supposed to be 5 years from now. Where you're meant to be. 8th house. 4th house. 10th house, not surprised. 1st house again. 6th house. Wow, now it just hit me actually. Like, I definitely think that for a lot of you, this could be you're working on your physical health. You're working on your body, maybe working out. You're trying to sculpt your body, because the 6th house and the 1st house is about the body. The 1st house is about the body. Here as well, like, you might be focused on your physical body. And the 6th house is about health. So yes, this could definitely be for some of you that, you know, 5 years from now, you're going to be even more focused on your health. And I think potentially you're going to reach, at least you're going to be much closer to what you want to feel like in your body. And this could be with respect to some physical conditions, but it could just be about aesthetics. So with the Empress, you are going to be more attractive here in the future because of your work. Okay. 10th house also shows definitely in a much better place career-wise, in a more established situation, more stable situation. The 4th house and the 8th house shows you are definitely going to be more in touch with your intuition, but it also can show you're going to have better understanding of psychology. This could also show about finances. So you could be, you know, looking into investments, into banking. You know, you're going to be much more, I think, oriented towards the financial aspects of life. So you're going to be more financially savvy. Let me put it like that. Maybe looking into, yes, what to put your money into. The 4th house has to do with home, vehicle. Could also has to do with restaurants or the mother side of the family. So I think with the 4th house there, some of you might actually have your first home 5 years from now, or you might be, you know, moving into a better home or getting a car that you want. More specifically, for some of you, this could be starting, you know, having a career in something to do with these things, you know, health, psychology, physical therapy, maybe real estate, restaurant business, hotel business, something to do with cars as well. So you could be working towards these things. This is like best case scenario for you 5 years from now. The 10th house, by the way, is kind of goes hand in hand here with the 10 of Pentacles. So if you focus on the 10 of Pentacles, you're going to reach that 10th house. So you're going to have a higher social status, a better position, like I said. So 10th house also shows a more respectable career position. It also shows better financial stability. 8th house also has to do with transformation. So 8th house with the 1st and the 6th really, really reinforces that some of you are like going through some kind of body transformation, I think, with respect to career as well, and with respect to your living situations as well. So for some of you, it could be that some of you might actually relocate to a place where a foreign language is being spoken, especially. So if that's something that you have been thinking about, yeah, I think it has high chances of happening if you focus on doing the work. So let's see, what work should you be doing? 9th house. So you are on the right track if you're focusing on 9th house, which is higher education. 7th house, interesting, which is about, you know, negotiations, working in one-on-one situations. 11th house, which is networking. 2nd house, which is family of origin. 2nd house also has to do with family of origin, and can also be about restaurants. So like for some of you very specifically, maybe it's something that you have considered, something to do with cooking, working on cooking, starting a restaurant business, because there's like a reinforcement here with the 4th house. This is really specific, so it could be for some of you. But the 2nd house has to do with the voice as well. So I think for some of you, this is about focusing on communication. I mean, for most of you, I'd say this is about spirit encouraging you to focus on communication, on valuing yourself more as well. 2nd house is about self-esteem. So working on your self-esteem, on your confidence, but also networking. And this also kind of like leads me back to the 5 of Pentacles here, because the 5 of Pentacles is all about a person who doesn't want to ask for help. So with the 11th house here, there's like a message that you need to get out of your shell and, you know, learn to network. Maybe focus on your communication skills, on working in one-on-one situations, maybe learning about business as well, especially partnership-based business. But yeah, I definitely see a lot of networking here. And this could even be like working on a business connected to teaching, because the 2nd house and the 9th house are about using your voice to communicate ideas, basically, and all kinds of teachings. Also with 7th house, it's kind of like the 7th house actually reinforces to me the 2 of Cups, because it's about focusing on an equal partnership. Focusing on, you know, equal give and take in a relationship, because it doesn't mean like you both have to be cookie cutter molds, but, you know, equal give and take. Yeah, mutual respect. So this is pretty much what I see in your reading, pile number 2, and I hope you have enjoyed it, because I definitely have. It has been very interesting. And if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to see when I will post a new video. And also, if you would consider getting a personal consultation from me, you can email me at the email in the video description. I can send you a pricing list. Actually, I can tell you right now, my prices range from around 26 euros to about 62. I have 3 different options of readings that I can offer. But I can give you more details in the email. I can also send you feedbacks that I have gotten from previous clients, so you can get an idea about my readings, and also sample readings, so you can see what they look like. And also, please comment in the comment section with anything you would like to share about the reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. This is your reading if you have chosen the amethyst crystal and or this card that says Liberty. I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to read the description in a bit. So once again, this is going to be the card selection process. I'm going to add timestamps so you can jump directly to the part that you are interested in, because I'm going to be taking my time. Okay, and I'm also going to spread this video into 3 parts. The part I'm going to put here some cards, and here some cards, and here some cards. So here I'm going to put the cards that show what is your highest potential in terms of spiritual development. So the best person that you can be 5 years from now. And here I'm going to put the present you. So what are your energies right now? And right now means like, you know, recent past, near future. And in the middle, I'm going to put the cards that show how you can get from here to here, okay? So that being said, I'm going to shuffle now. Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 3, the people who chose the amethyst crystal? What can you tell me about pile number 3, the people who chose the amethyst crystal? What is the best version they can be 5 years from now? Spirit, help me choose the right cards. What is the best version of them they can reach 5 years from now? What is their highest spiritual evolution 5 years from now? Spirit, help me choose the right cards for them. Okay. Spirit, where are they at now? Where is pile number 3 now energetically? Where is pile number 3 now energetically? Help me choose the right cards for them. And I mean recent, past, near future. Where are they at? What is their focus right now, Spirit? What is their energy right now, Spirit? What is their energy right now, Spirit? Spirit, what should they be focusing on? What should they be focusing on in order to reach their highest potential 5 years from now? What energies, what should they cultivate? What should they focus on to reach their highest potential 5 years from now, Spirit? Help me out. Help me choose the right cards. What should their focus be to reach their potential? Okay. So you have right now the Empress and the 10 of Cups. Wow, okay. So you have to be doing pretty well right now. I mean, compared to the other 2 piles anyway. Okay, where should you be 5 years from now? Strength. 4 of Coins or 4 of Pentacles. 2 of Swords. Interesting. I'm going to have to clarify the 2 of Swords. Okay. Spirit, can you clarify the 2 of Swords for me? What are the 2 options shown by the 2 of Swords, Spirit? Okay, so these 2 came out. You have Justice and the Knight of Cups. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to put these aside. Where should I put them? I hope they will stay there. Okay. And what should you do to get there? Okay, 8 of Swords. The Emperor. The 4 of Swords. Okay. More cards. Spirit. Where should pile number 3 be five years from now? What is their highest expression spiritually? Knight of Cups again, because Knight of Cups is an option there, okay? So where should you be? Where should pile number 3, the people who chose the amethyst crystal, be 5 years from now if they reach their highest level of evolution? Where should they be 5 years from now? Help me choose the right, this one. Okay, Spirit, where's pile number 3 right now energetically? Where are they right now? Where is their energy? What are they focused on? What are they doing in their lives? Recent, past, near future. Where are they at right now? Where are they? Still getting, okay. This one, not feeling it. Where are they at right now? Where's pile? Okay, this one came out. Okay. Spirit, what should pile number 3 focus on to reach their highest potential 5 years from now? What should they focus on? What should they do? What energy should they focus on, Spirit? Help me out here. What should pile number 3 focus on to reach their highest potential 5 years from now? What should they focus on? This popped out. To reach their highest potential, Spirit. This one. Oh, wait. Okay, so you have the 3 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups. If you felt drawn to any of the other piles, feel free to watch because there might be messages for you there. Then you have, oh, wait, here. The future you, the Wheel of Fortune. The 3 of Swords. Wow. Wow. Okay, wow. Very interesting. I'm seeing something pretty negative, but I'm going to shut up about it. And what should you do to get there? The Sun. The Knight of Swords. I'm going to take 2 oracle cards as well to help you out with what you do focus on. Spirit, what should pile number 3 focus on to reach their highest potential 5 years from now? What should they focus on, Spirit? What do they need to focus on to reach their highest potential 5 years from now? What should pile number 3 focus on to reach their highest potential 5 years from now? What should they focus on, Spirit? What should they focus on to reach their highest potential 5 years from now? This. So you have true love, self-love. Yeah, this goes hand in hand with what I'm seeing, and I have to say that what I'm seeing for some of you is pretty negative, but I feel like I have a duty to speak the truth. So yes. But I'm gonna get to that later. So right now the oracle cards say true love and self-love. So true love says your wholeness and safety lie within, not from a partner. But this sovereignty actually leads to the deepest intimacy for you to stop using others. Let me stand on my own feet, dear Lord, and know true love. Self-love. Show me how to love myself. Show me how to take care of the inner child. Show me how to be kind within. When you step into self-forgiveness, so much can change on the outside. Very interesting, really. And now I'm going to read what the booklet says for this. So this is what you are meant to reach 5 years from now. Your highest potential, liberty. So the booklet, interesting. Number 2 also is connected to love, I think, and the moon energy. Let me see. Liberty, choices, confidence, letting go, self-determination. This card shows a woman standing in profile. A birdcage hangs from her hair, and she is about to release her winged friend into the night. The stars and the moon are guiding the little bird's way. The woman has plucked a special star from the sky to help shepherd the bird's journey. This card stands for the freedom you have to choose your own way in life. Don't let others decide for you. You have the power to liberate yourself from both external and internal cages. Many of the obstacles we face are ones we create ourselves. Once we realize we've created them, we have the power to release them. Wow, I feel like this is a confirmation of the Eight of Swords energy, actually. So pretty much it's like what I was going to say with the Eight of Swords is that you need to let go of limiting beliefs and obstacles you have created in your mind. Very interesting, but I'm going to get more into details. Also, yeah, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm going to start with where you are right now. This is where you are right now. This is recent past, near future. So, Ace of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, the Empress. So I think many of you are married, or you are just about to get married for some of you. Actually, irrespective of your marital status. So some of you are definitely married. Some of you are in an established relationship that has been going on for a while. Some of you are mothers. You definitely have been focused. So irrespective, that's what I was going to say. Irrespective of your marital status, your focus has been a lot on getting married. Getting married, having children, being a mother, on your physical appearance, being attractive, attracting a mate. Again, for if you're a man, this could be the same things, but for a man, you know, attracting a mate, getting married, having children, romance, love, relationships in general, diplomacy. Also working quietly towards your career, but not so much on your career, right? I feel the career is in the background here. However, you definitely use your ability to communicate in your career because of this card. So you're more people-oriented. You're aiming to please. This is the energy that I'm seeing here. Which is, yeah. That's why I was going to say this for you can be, I mean, on the surface, it can look like something negative. The reason I say this is really because you have the 10 of Cups here and you have the 3 of Swords here. Underneath the 2 of Swords, which shows a choice. For some of you, this could show that you are actually meant to end a relationship 5 years from now. You are meant even to experience some heartbreak because, I mean, to be fair, if a relationship ends, especially if it is a long-lasting relationship, it's almost impossible to end a relationship like that without some heartbreak. However, this doesn't mean that it's a bad thing overall, because this is what you have to go through in order to grow. This is where you have to be 5 years from now in order to evolve, in order to grow spiritually, in order to get closer to reaching your destiny. And I picked up 2 cards to clarify the 2 of Swords. The 2 of Swords shows a crossroads, right? So choosing between 2 options. And you got the Justice and you got the Knight of Cups, which is really interesting. And you also have the Knight of Cups here as well. So this is these 2 are the clarification for the 2 of Swords. So this is really interesting. So I feel like you're going to be having to make a choice between what feels right in society's eyes and staying true to yourself. This also goes hand in hand with the Liberty card. Following your heart's desire. So here we have the Knight of Cups, and the water in this card, if you see it, well, let me show you. There's a water here. There's a stream flowing. So this card is about the importance of following your intuition, following your gut feeling. It's also about having the courage to follow your gut feeling. So I definitely think that for some of you, this could definitely be a divorce. So like you could be in a painful situation where you're going to have to choose between, you know, doing what feels right for you and staying true to yourself here with the Knight of Cups. And, you know, basically doing what you have to do in order to preserve your soul. And I know that sounds dramatic, but in order to stay true to yourself and, you know, and basically maintain your integrity spiritually and your authenticity. I just was realizing right now, look at this. Look at these cards. Here you have this guy having a bird carrying a letter with a heart on it, and he's letting it go. And here you have the woman carrying a bird that she's about to let go, and she is holding that star to bait the bird. Interesting symmetry and confirmation here. I feel like the bird, and it's, you know, look at this, it's a white dove, you know, like the dove of hope or something, and with the word of liberty. It's about letting go, to some extent. The prison that you might find yourself in 5 years from now will be something of your own making, you know. This is the Justice card. So it could be something you have co-created with the people in your life. You know, you have followed other people's impositions rather than following your own inner voice. But you also have the strength here. So I think no matter what happens, you're going to have the strength to deal with it. You know, this is a message that, I feel like this is a message from Spirit, definitely for some of you, that when that time comes of you having to make a really painful decision and thinking, oh my God, how am I going to do this? This is a message that you have the strength to do it. You have the strength to go through it. And on top of which, you have the Wheel of Fortune here. And I feel like 5 years from now, you're going to be a person who is much more resilient. Of course, this could be like, you know, this is something that you're supposed to do until this point, you know, until you reach this 5-year mark. And but I think because of this Two of Swords and having to make a decision, I think it's around that, you know, 5-year mark. In any case, there's going to be some kind of a decision you're going to have to make between your, you know, staying true to yourself and doing what you think is right or what society thinks is right. So like I said, for some of you, that could be a divorce, but it doesn't necessarily have to be just a divorce. It could be literally anything. Maybe it's about, you know, choosing between a passion project and a stable career. The reason I thought about divorce, though, is because you also have this Three of Swords, which shows heartbreak. So this is about relationships. You know, it's very likely that it's about relationships. And then you'll have the Ten of Cups at the beginning, which shows a happy, well, in you know, the Rider-Waite, it shows a happy married life. You know, it shows that couple with sitting under a rainbow with children by their side playing. However, the Ten of Cups can just show happiness overall, you know. However, it can just show for some of you that you're overly focused on it. You're focused on, you know, putting your happiness, placing your happiness on external things. And this could explain why you have the true love and the self-love. And I think that this is true for all of you, irrespective of your marital status, like I said initially. You know, you might be focused too much on someone else making you happy, or, you know, doing what society says that you should do in order to be happy, but somehow it always doesn't feel enough. Like you still have some sense of, you know, emptiness. And that's because you are not loving yourself. You're not staying true to yourself, most likely. I definitely think that this is a message for a lot of you. But yeah, going back to where you're supposed to be 5 years from now, aside from being stronger, having gone through, you know, some heartache, testing your resilience, your strength, you're also going to, you know, go back to your authentic self. You're going to be much more authentic, true to yourself. And you're going to find that the painful decisions you're going to make, once you make a decision, right, you're going to be closer to freedom because of this card. You're going to reach this liberty. You're definitely going to be much more trusting of your intuition, much more spiritually evolved, because you also have the moon here and the number 2. The number 2 again. The number 4, which is also about the moon. So, and the Knight of Cups, which is a water energy, and you also have the Knight of Cups twice. So this is like water energy here. You're going to be much more in touch with your feelings, with what you really want, what you really need to be happy, and much more trusting of your gut feeling, of your intuition. With the Wheel of Fortune, it goes hand in hand with the Strength. So you're going to be a person who you actually might find yourself, again, this again leads me to think of the Two of Swords card. So the decision you're going to have to make is going to feel to you like you're in a vortex. You know, like maybe, you know, not like your entire life is crumbling down, but, you know, you're going to have a lot of changes, a lot of ups and downs. You're going to have to adapt quickly. But this is all meant for your higher development. The Four of Coins especially, you're going to be forced to be frugal. You're going to learn about managing your finances. You're going to be someone who knows how to manage their finances. And, you know, most likely more self-sufficient. You're just going to accept, you're going to realize that you're much stronger than you think, and that basically nothing can really defeat you. And you're also going to find faith out of this. There's going to be some element of fate surrounding who you're going to become 5 years from now as well, for many of you. Like it's part of your path. And having faith in a higher power will definitely help you a lot. It will help you keep your stability while you are in the vortex of life, you know. And again, you know, for some of you, because the Justice card came out, I feel like there's an element of karma here. So for some of you, I think that, again, this is very specific, but I think that if you get to a point within the next 5 years where you have to go through a painful breakup, a divorce, something like that, things that seem like they're out of your control, there is a message that this has to do with karma. Like there's some kind of a clearing of karma happening in your life. And again, obviously this is going to be for yourself. It's going to be better for you in the long run. For your evolution. Because life is going to clear out after that. It's going to be easier. But pretty much this is what I see. This is like basically about stability, finding stability in a lot of change. You know, you're going to be a person who like can walk on a tightrope. You know, that kind of a person. You're going to become someone much more resilient 5 years from now. Okay, so this is what I see. And now, how can you get from here to here? You have these cards in the middle. So the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Emperor, the Nine of Wands, the Four of Swords, the Sun. So the Sun here is kind of like a reinforcement of the oracle cards that say true love and self-love. The Sun energy is about Leo, and it's corresponding to the 5th house, which is the house of love, and especially self-love. The reason I say especially self-love, so Leo also is about romantic love, but the reason it's connected to self-love is because it's also connected to children. It's about that childlike innocence, it's about, how children, if they are well taken care of, they can just be in the moment, they can just enjoy themselves, they can just do things for fun and be carefree like adults can rarely be. So this is to me like a reinforcement that you need to focus on loving yourself, getting in touch with that inner child. Maybe again, because it's underneath the Four of Swords, which when I see the Four of Swords, I usually tell people like this is about going within. This is about, something like therapy, self-analysis. In any case, this is about resting, actually. It's about pacing yourself, being kind to yourself. Don't push yourself too hard. Don't try to, push yourself to the limit and be constantly tired. Rest enough, basically take care of yourself like you were your own child. This is about, you healing the inner child. It even says something about inner children there, I think. Or not? Yes, it does. Show me how to love myself. Show me how to take care of the inner child on that self-love card, oracle card. So yes, this is definitely a strong message. You need to go within as well. Understand any traumas that you have had. Understand what might be holding you back. But also, first and foremost, resting, taking care of yourself, pacing yourself. Don't be so harsh on yourself. The Emperor and the Nine of Wands is really interesting. I think that you need to focus on, with the Emperor, you need to focus on stability. You need to focus on protection, like protecting yourself. With the Nine of Wands as well, protecting yourself, because this shows defense, learning how to protect. This could even be like literally about, if you are someone who struggles with feeling safe, this could be about you learning how to make yourself feel safe, like maybe even taking up self-defense courses. This could be also just protecting the inner child, protecting yourself from other people's prying eyes. Protect your family as well, especially if you have children. Learn to protect your children as if, like the way that you, especially if you didn't feel protected when you were a child, do the things that you wish that your parents would have done for you. The Emperor is a kind of a fatherly figure. So, I mean, for some of you, very specifically, this could have to deal with a father figure, with a mentor figure. So working out that relationship, especially if it is affecting you negatively. Could even be a superior at work. Then you also have the Eight of Swords and the Knight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, like I said, this is about working through your limiting beliefs. This is a clear message that your own thought patterns, that even maybe your habits, your beliefs, your thought patterns, most of all, are holding you back. You are creating a prison of your own thought. You're a prisoner of your own thoughts, basically. That's the message. So, and in this card, it's not suggestive, but in the Rider-Waite deck, it shows a woman who's blindfolded, and there's a stream at her feet, similarly to the Knight of Cups, with having this stream of water at his feet. And the message of that is you need to follow your intuition. You need to follow your gut feeling. If you are in doubt, if you are I mean, this could even show, you know, thoughts that have been branded into your brain from young age. You know, limiting beliefs could be like, I don't know, especially with the emperor here, like this could come from your family system, from the father person, the father figure. You know, limiting beliefs, maybe criticisms that you have gotten as a child, things that really crippled your inner child, gave you a feeling that you are not worthy, that maybe you're not competent, or whatever it is that you need to be in order to be happy and free to be yourself. This is like, this pile more than others, definitely. This is the main message is you need to focus on your authenticity, especially the sun here. This is about getting in touch with your inner child, with your creativity. You know, this is also about going back to what made you happy as a child. What made you happy if you didn't have to worry about money, if you didn't have to worry about other people's opinions, you know, doing things just because they make you happy, you know, taking up hobbies, especially if you have neglected that. The Knight of Swords also has to do with you taking action. And I know I'm not trying to encourage anyone to be, you know, super aggressive or even destructive, but the Knight of Swords is literally a card of take the bull by the horns, you know. Don't wait around, don't listen to other people's approval, just do it. You know, if you want something, go after it. This is about your willpower being tested. This is about, you know, and again, it kind of goes hand in hand with staying true to yourself. But it's also telling you that, you know, don't let, to some extent, you could even be, don't let authority figures, you know, tell you who you are, or like even stop you. But again, I'm not trying to encourage anyone to do stuff that is illegal or destructive. But this is definitely about you needing to take the bull by the horns, you know, you needing to be proactive about changing your circumstances. Do not wait around. Do not accept, do not wait for other people's approval or even other people's help. You know, take courage. Be courageous. Yeah, so this is pretty much what I can see from the cards. Let me see what I'm going to get from the astrological notes. Spirit, where does pile number 3, where is pile number 3 going to be 5 years from now? What is the best expression of themselves that they could be 5 years from now? 5, okay. Spirit, where's pile number 3 right now? Energetically, what are they focused on? Where's pile number 3 right now, Spirit? Okay, 4, fine. Spirit, what does pile number 3 have to focus on to reach their highest self, higher self that they could be 5 years from now? What should they focus on? What energy should they focus on, Spirit? What energy should they focus on, Spirit? 5? Okay. You have more notes than the other piles. So let's see, where are you now? 12th house. 8th house. 7th house. So some of you definitely are married. 9th house. Interesting. So when it comes to where are you now, right now, with respect to energies, you are focused on 8th house. Can also be in-laws. Some of you might be living with your in-laws, or you're concerned a lot with the, you know, the life of the in-laws. Definitely you might be married, or you might be in a long-term relationship. Some of you, for those of you who are not married, you're definitely focused on marriage. So you are focused on, you know, romance. You know, you're focused on finding a spouse or a long-term partner. Some of you might actually be, you know, focusing on traveling. You might be going through some kind of a transformation right now. So some of you could literally be going through a divorce right now. Some of you. You're going through a transformation. Some of you might be traveling, or you might be living abroad. You might be considering to move abroad for a romantic prospect. You might be going through therapy. Some of you are also focused on educating yourselves, broadening your horizons, maybe taking specialized courses, maybe going through graduate school. I'm definitely seeing that for some of you. Maybe teaching abroad. Okay, right. So where should you be 5 years from now? Let me see. Second house. Ninth house again. 10th house. Sixth house. First house. So check this out. Second house shows that you might actually have to focus more on the relationships with your family of origin for some of you. This could be just finding your voice with the second house. Travel is still going to be something of interest or something of significant component of your life. You're going to also be having more of social status, more of a career, I think. I'm definitely feeling like for some of you, you might be teachers, or maybe someone who's just preaching, teaching, you know, using your voice a lot. That's definitely a thing. Like for some of you, see how this resonates. This could be like you becoming some kind of a public speaker, a teacher, motivational speaker, anything, something to do with using your voice and sharing information. Also being of service to others with the sixth house could also be connected to the medical field. With the first house, you're going to be more focused on yourself, which actually is kind of a confirmation of what I said through the cards. So you're going to learn to be more, you know, true to yourself, focused on yourself, your self-development. Sixth house is about, you know, working on yourself, daily habits, being of service as well. Might even be focused on something to do with pets, animals. You're also going to be more competitive, I think. And more willing to compete, more willing to put yourself out there and get what you want, which is kind of a confirmation of the Knight of Swords energy. And yeah, pretty much this is what I see. And now let me see how you're gonna get there from, okay, fifth house. Yeah, that's Leo and Sun energy, so that's a confirmation. 12th house, so the 12th house is going to help you. 12th house also makes me think of the Four of Swords, actually. Isolation, you know, going within. Third house, communication. Fifth house, again, very strong confirmation here. Seventh house, so romantic partnerships. Interesting. I mean, seventh house could be romantic partnerships, or it could be partnerships in general. It could be partnership-based business as well. So this could be for some of you business. Third house. So how are you going to get from here to there? Communication skills. Younger siblings could be helpful. Neighbors could be helpful. Online medium could be helpful. So I think for some of you, you might like meet someone online and they might turn into a serious romantic partner. You might go through courses online. I mean, 12th house also speaks of isolation. So this could be like, I mean, since 2020, a lot of us have been in isolation. So that could be just a confirmation that you're going to do things remotely a lot. You could be considering a online business. The 5th house coming out twice, very strong message that is also shown by the oracle cards, that you need to focus on love, self-love. First and foremost, self-love. You know, dealing with your inner child, dealing with children in general could be for some of you. So this is definitely strong, like for you, for those of you who are like in teaching professions or you have considered teaching professions. This is a confirmation that you are basically on the right track. This is also like a, you know, a confirmation of what I said initially, which is that, and it's also shown by the oracle cards, that once you learn to love yourself, you will find a true romantic partner. And not before that. You are, I mean, if you also follow my astrology channel, you're one of those people, I think, who is meant to have a love marriage. It's kind of like shown here, especially, you know, because the 7th house and the 5th house is connected. And with the 12th house, this could be like, I think, more likely to do with you cultivating intuition. Like I said, trusting your intuition. And again, you might already be focusing on this. So you might already be a person of strong intuition. But you really need to learn to trust it, to listen to that. Maybe, you know, start recording your dreams, journal, you know, work on self-reflection. Also focus on resting. The 12th house is about the inner landscape. You know, it's also about going within. It could also show long distance travel or long-term travel. For some of you, more specifically, this could be, you know, going to study abroad, or like going something to do with like foreign cultures, foreign lands, faraway lands. That could help you. But faith, getting in touch with a feeling of faith, this is a constant in all of these stages. You know, you need to learn to have faith, to trust in a higher power. Definitely strong confirmation though. I can't get over it. So, I mean, focus on love, self-love. That's the most important thing. Getting back in touch with your inner child, who you are deep down, and being happy on your own. I know it's kind of a cliche, but it's a very strong message in your pile. Okay, so this is pretty much what I can see in your reading, and I hope you have enjoyed it, pile number 3, because I definitely have. It has been really interesting, and I hope it resonated. And please comment in the comment section with anything you would like to share about the reading. And also, if you have liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. It only takes a second, and it's the easiest way to support me. And also, if you want to see when I'm going to post a new video, please click on the notifications bell. And also, if you're interested in getting a personal consultation from me, I offer 3 separate reading options. Price ranges from 26 to 62 euros. And if you're interested in finding out more about them, you can email me at the email in the video description. I can send you feedbacks and sample readings from previous clients, as well as more details if you're interested. So thank you for listening.